This is Route 66, the UK's best rock and blues radio show. Well, maybe.
Hello and welcome, I'm Rory Auskerry, the host of the Route 66 radio show. You can listen to us every week online. Just go to rockinjockin.com. We're on a Sunday evening between 6 and 8 in the UK and around the world for the rest of the time and forever on the internet via Mixcloud. Just follow us on there. All the details you need at rockinjockin.com. Now on this special download, we've got an interview with the fantastic Finnish slide guitar player Erja Lyytinen. She's over in the UK at the moment in sort of September, October of 2015 for a UK tour, playing a number of dates in support of her recent release, the Live in London album, which was recorded at London's 100 Club. Now, to kick things off on the interview, in light of the fact that Erja gave birth to twins not too many months ago, I thought we'd start off by asking her how she juggles the responsibilities and difficulties of family life as well as being out on the road.
It is a bit of a sacrifice. You have to accept the fact that you have to be away from your children every now and then. And I love playing live and I love touring. So that's just something I need to do. And I hope my children, when they grow up, they will understand why mommy is away for weeks from home. And maybe they will get into music as well. And they are already very musical. And I do miss them very much. And I'm pretty sure after a couple of weeks we've been touring here in the UK, I'll be missing them even more. But thank God we got all these techniques nowadays. We can use Skype and send photos, etc. So yeah, it'll ease the pain a little bit.
Let's talk about the tour that you're on then, Erja. How do you compare the sort of live performance element of the job, as it were, with the blank canvas that you'd get from being in a studio environment? Which do you prefer and why?
I think I would prefer playing on stage if I have to choose from these two options. Playing studio, it's you always have to kind of think of that you have the audience there, and then you have to really try to find the emotions and everything, the vibe and the flow by yourself there. Of course you have your band. Sometimes I record albums as a live, like I did this tribute album to Elmer James where this track Person to Person is from, and we all played there live in the studio, and then it's easier to capture the moment really. But I would say that I am a live performer, really. That's what I really love to do. I love playing and singing for the audience, and I love the interaction and the energy, what we create together. It's very important.
So the Live in London release, which is superb, by the way.
Thank you.
We've been playing it quite a lot on Route 66 over the last few weeks. It's an amazing venue, the 100 Club, and lots of kind of quite important people have played there over the years. How much did you feel the pressure of that kind of history whilst you were on stage in there?
Well, that's why we chose the place, actually, because it has such a deep history. So many great players have been playing there, and the venue was familiar for us before this DVD making, and we were thinking that would be a great venue to do this live recording, and one of my favorites, Son House, did one of his recordings there in 1970. So it did feel really great to be there, thinking of the history, and yeah, it turned out to be very well, and yeah.
it's got a great kind of energy to it, the live show. I mean, you clearly enjoy being up on stage in front of an audience who are reacting to what you're doing, and that's clear from your body language and your face and everything. It's a great thing to watch.
Thank you, and we were very happy with the turnout, how much there was people, and the whole DVD just turned out very well. The whole recording sounds really good, and you can really hear that we're having a good time. And yeah, I'm very happy with this recording, really.
The band sounds great together as well. How long have you guys been playing together as a unit?
Well, this band I had with me on 100 Club, we played together for 3 years. So you can really hear it when you play around. We played around 100 shows per year. So, of course, it starts to kind of nail together. And it has a very good vibe, definitely.
And you mentioned a few moments ago Son House, and of course Elmore James and Muddy Waters are clearly big influences to you as well. What about some of the more sort of current people? I mean, sometimes I've read that you've been kind of linked with Bonnie Raitt, of course, because, for one reason or another, female slide guitar players are quite rare. But also, I mean, I'm thinking of the likes of Derek Trucks, for instance. I mean, where do you stand on the kind of current crop of slide guitarists?
Well, definitely Derek Trucks. He was when he started to do his solo thing in beginning of 2000. I instantly really fell in love to his playing style, and I've been listening to his records a lot. And actually, just today checked some of his tracks out again. They were from the album Joyful Noise back in 2002. Sonny Landred, he's brilliant, really great stuff. And so there's a bunch of slide guitar players. Not so many, but still there is happening.
No, indeed. In fact, earlier on the show tonight, because planning to talk to you reminded me of it, we played Derek Trucks and Johnny Winter doing Dust My Broom, which of course is one of the ones that you do on the show, and you do very well. But the two of them, that's something to behold as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
It's such a great track. I mean, if you can do a good version of it, it's, you're on to a winner anyway, because it's such a great track.
It is a great track, and I've been playing that song for more than a decade, actually, and it was one of the first songs I kind of learned to play in open tunings. And it's a good fun to play that song. And for us, nowadays, it's almost like 12, 13 minutes long song we played on the show. So
it's turned into a bit of an epic.
Yes, that's it. And there's like a lot of solos and things happening and talking and everything. So
yeah, no, it's fantastic. Well, let's get into, just have a little break and play some music. Let's hear Hand in Hand from the Live in London release. Can you tell me a little bit about that one just before we play it?
Okay, it's Elmer James' song, and it's regular shuffle song, so to speak, and it talks about the fact that you have a guy or you have a girl, and then you see him or her walking with another one. Ouch.
Yes, I lost my baby. No, he just wants to ride. Yes, I lost my baby. No, he just wants to ride. He leaves home early in the morning and goes out with some other girl. Every time I see my baby walking down the street with another girl. Every time I see my baby walking down the street with another girl. Now it used to be a dozen, nowadays they're running hand in hand.
Fantastic track live from Erja Lyytinen, Hand in Hand from the Live in London CD and DVD release, which has been out for a few months now, admittedly, but you can get your hands on that if you haven't seen it already. It's well worth a watch. We're talking to Erja tonight because she's on tour in the UK. She's going to be touring right the way through until towards the end of October, so there are opportunities to go and see her. Erja, it's great to have you on the show tonight. In terms of a next album, what are you thinking for the next thing? Are you going to do a studio album or are you going to do another live recording? What are you working on?
Well, It is going to be a studio album this time, and it is time for me to write my own songs. It's been a couple of years since I done my own studio recording. The previous one was Forbidden Fruit, and actually I already have the material done. And we've been trying these new songs out, and we will be trying them out tonight in Sheffield as well. So people have been receiving the new song very well, and I've been very happy to hear that, because it's good to try them out before you really record them in the studio.
How much do the tracks change? I mean, if you play them live, presumably you're looking to get a reaction from the audience and to see how it works. Sure. And if they're things that you've written yourself, so you're not kind of constrained by prior expectations because they're a cover version, for instance, how much would you allow a song to alter? Maybe, let's do it a bit faster, or let's change the arrangement, or let's lose that verse or add that verse. How much could it change whilst you try it out on a tour?
Well, I've noticed that usually they will definitely change a little bit, unless if the arrangement is really tight and, everything is...
tickety-boo.
Yeah. So that's why I love playing live, because you might make mistakes which are good, and then you go like, wow, we should use this in the song.
Yeah, no, I've heard people say that before. It's quite a common approach to making refinements.
Make music by mistakes.
No, but some of the best things come by accident. Is more the kind of way. Is there anyone that you'd like to collaborate with, to record with, perhaps to tour with? I mean, I know you did the Blues Caravan things a few years back. But I mean, there are lots of artists now who are recording albums with other people. I mean, Joe Bonamassa, for instance, has done it. I mean, we mentioned Derek Trucks and Johnny Winter. Johnny Winter, sadly, no longer with us, of course. But is there anyone you'd like to do an album with?
Oh, wow. There's plenty of names, of course. I really like Gary Clark Jr. I think he has a very cool, relaxed style, and he'd be very creative to work with, I think. Many times when people ask this question, you have to really ponder, like, who would I have a good chemistry with? Because that's a very important thing when you do the music together. It's not just the way you can play together, but just the whole thing, really. So he'd be one of the most interesting people definitely to do the recording with. And Derek Trucks, as you mentioned. He's such a great player, but, I'd be struggling with him because he's so talented with his life.
Yeah, you'd have Susan Tedeschi playing sort of gooseberry as well, if unless the three of you did an album together.
Oh, yeah, and actually I played a festival with Susan Tedeschi a long time ago in Holland, and I met her, and she was really, really nice person. So I'm very happy for their success, really.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. We Route 66 would back you all the way with any of those collaboration attempts. Good. That would be great. Before we let you go, Erja, we'll play one more track in just a moment. We'll do Everything's Fine, but before we do that, just tell me about who you're listening to. I mean, you're on tour, so you've presumably got a fair amount of time in a vehicle or in hotels. What are you listening to on your MP3 player?
Well, right now, actually, we were just listening to Eric Gales in our van, and I have to admit that I like to listen to most of the old stuff.
So do I.
Old blues, really. But I try to catch up the newcomers and such thing all the time, because it's good to kind of know what's going around you.
Well, I mean, Lawrence Jones, for instance, won Best Young Artist at this year's Blues Awards and last year as well. And he's kind of in the stable along with yourself as well in terms of the record company and what have you. Is he somebody that you'd like to work with?
Oh, yeah. I know Lawrence, and I met him, and he has a good thing going on, definitely. And he's very young and energetic, so... And there's a lot of actually young people here in the UK, girls and boys, who are very enthusiastic about blues and playing the blues guitar. And I think it's kind of like another blues revival happening here. And that's very interesting as well.
Well, it's interesting. It's also great news for those of us who like to play blues and rock music on the radio. It's all very well playing the old classic stuff, which we all know and love, but to keep the genre truly alive and developing and exciting, you have to have people like yourself recording new stuff.
That's it. You have to respect the old roots and the old blues, Delta blues, Chicago blues, all this good stuff. But we have to do something what is happening right now, and take the ideas what is going on in the environment and the society right now.
Indeed, we certainly do. Well, listen, just to kind of finish things off, Erja, before you're obviously going to be going and getting on stage very shortly. Everything's Fine is the final track that I thought we'd play tonight from the new album. So just tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the lyrics tell about that, how in life sometimes it's like you have to pretend that everything's going good. And that's what many people actually do. Although there's a lot of bad things happening.
Putting a brave face on things.
That's it.
Well, listen, Erja, it's fantastic to have you on the show. Lovely to hear from you, and great that you're over here in the UK. We haste you back for another tour, and please add Manchester to the date next time.
Yes, I will. I will tell my agent.
Yes, good. I'll tell them as well, and we'll look forward to getting you on the show. Hopefully we could get you in for a live session next time.
Oh, that'll be very, very much fun.
Lovely to talk to you.
Likewise. Thanks, Rory.
That was Erja Lyytinen talking to me for Route 66, so the radio show which is broadcast in the UK every Sunday between 6 and 8. You can listen back anytime you like at rockinjockin.com. I'm Rory Auskerry. I do hope you'll join me for a live show sometime. And don't forget to follow us on Mixcloud, and we're on Twitter as well, at rockinjockin.
This is Route 66.